Jetzt begrüße ich ganz herzlich noch den Außenminister, und zwar das ist Péter Szijjártó. It's a great honor, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much. So, für Sie, das ist der Außenminister Ungarn, Péter Szijjártó. Ich werde ihn ganz als erstes fragen, wie er die Schweiz sieht, wie neutral eigentlich die Schweiz ist, im Hinblick natürlich der Russland-Sanktionen in der heutigen Zeit. My first question to you is, how neutral is Switzerland? We have adapted to the EU sanction system against Russia. We are on a list in Russia of unfriendly states. Even the US recognized that even the neutral Switzerland took part on that system against Russia. What is your perspective? How neutral is Switzerland?
Well, first of all, good morning to you. I really respect the way Switzerland is conducting its foreign policy, given the fact that we in Hungary have been carrying out a sovereignistic foreign policy as well. A foreign policy must always be based on a sovereignistic approach, because in my understanding, foreign affairs must serve national interest, and serving national interest must be absolutely number one. Therefore, we Hungarians usually look at the issues of global developments from our own perspective, and not through the glasses of anyone else. And as far as I see, Switzerland has been conducting a similar kind of foreign policy based on a similar kind of approach, that Switzerland looks at the world through Swiss angle and not through the angles of anyone else. And this is something that I respect, because this is something I've been doing in our foreign policy for the last 9 years. We are looking at all issues through our own angles, and we are not ready to accept any kind of pressure. We are not ready to accept any kind of pressure to be forced to look at the issues of the world from the angles of others.
And my question, and how do you see it? Do you think Switzerland lost this angle? Well, did they lose track on focusing on their own interest, on their lenses? How do you analyze that?
Look. This is very important that mutual respect must come back to international political discourse. To be honest, I'm fed up with the approach that we are discussing the foreign policy of other countries and the domestic policies of other countries. We Hungarians have been suffering a lot of that. There are so many politicians all around the world who think that they would know better what is good for Hungary than us, the Hungarians. Therefore, I don't want to seem to be in a position that I know what is good for Switzerland better than the Swiss themselves. So, if the Swiss people are satisfied with the foreign political strategy this administration has been carrying out, they will vote for them. If not, then not. But you know, it's very important that nowadays international political discourse is absolutely lacking the phenomenon of mutual respect. We like to speak about the issues of each other. We like to shine as we would know better what is good for the other than the others themselves. So therefore, whether this foreign policy is good or not for Switzerland, let's leave it to the Swiss to decide, as I expect others to leave it to the Hungarians to decide whether the Hungarian political strategy is good for Hungary or not.
Perfect. I will quickly translate. Und zwar sagt er betont den Respekt für die Schweiz, den quasi er zollt der Schweiz Respekt, dass sie diesen Schritt gemacht haben. Aus seiner Sicht, er betont diesen Standort der souveränen Staaten, der nationalen Interessen. Ungarn betrachtet die Außenpolitik durch die ungarische Brille. Und zwar, er hat es satt, dass man ständig, es gäbe genug Politiker auf der ganzen Welt, die irgendwie besserwisserisch herumlaufen und irgendwelchen Staaten etwas vorschreiben. So, das will er auch der Schweiz konkret nicht machen. Deswegen, ich habe auch nachgefragt, wie er jetzt diese Neutralität einsetzt, ob das Land nicht mehr neutral ist. Er sagt, wenn die Schweizer mit diesem Entscheid einverstanden sind, dann ist diese Außenpolitik auch okay. Und wenn die Schweizer dann nicht mehr einverstanden sind mit dieser Außenpolitik, dann kriegen die Politiker halt dann die Quittung. So my next question to you is, when it comes to respect, Frage vielleicht, ich will wissen, wie man denn Herrn Putin begegnen soll. Weil Ungarn, Viktor Orbán ist eines der einzigen Länder, das vor wenigen Monaten in Peking mit dem russischen Präsidenten zusammengekommen ist und gesprochen hat auch. Das macht sonst eigentlich fast niemand. So my question to you is...
Yeah, I understood.
Okay, you understood.
Yeah,
what
sure.
does it what does it take? What would your advice be? I don't want to criticize anyone else.
Sure.
But you did it.
Yeah.
What would you? Everyone is saying that you can't talk to Mr. Putin.
Yeah.
It's impossible. This is the evil, the devil in Moscow. What would your advice be to negotiate with him, to speak to him, to discuss with him?
Look, we Hungarians are absolutely in favor of peace. We want this war to come to its end. Why? Because the longer this war takes, the more people will die. And the longer this war takes, the more destruction will take place. And we don't want more people to die, and we don't want more destruction to take place. Now, how you come to that position? Stop the war. How you stop the war? Look at history. How wars have been concluded? Around the negotiating table, by discussion, by negotiations. And in order to be able to conduct negotiations about how to make a peace agreement which can ensure a long-lasting peace in the region, you have to have the channels of communication open. If you cut the channels of communication, basically you give up the hope for peace. And we Hungarians do not want to give up the hope for peace because we want peace as soon as possible. Therefore, our role is to keep the channels of communication open. Now, how you keep the channels of communication open? By communication. So you need to talk to the Russians, you need to talk to the Belarusians, because if you don't do that, then there will be no way to sit around the same negotiating table at the end and to negotiate about how to stop this war. Look, there is a significant Hungarian community living in Ukraine, 150,000, who are ethnic Hungarians but Ukrainian citizens. So many of them have been conscripted to the Ukrainian army. Many of them have been deployed to the front line. So what happened? Many of them have died. So I'm representing a nation, members of which are dying in this war. This is a totally different dimension than the others, you know. So therefore, we do not believe that the developments on the battlefield would bring us closer to peace. No, the developments on the battlefield day by day will bring us further from peace because there are more and more people dying. So I regret to see that many European colleagues of ours are suffering from war psyche. They think they are in Fortnite, you know. They think that there is a solution for this war at the battlefield, but no, there is no solution on the battlefield. You know what we have at the battlefield? Dead people and destruction. And therefore, we have to stop this war immediately. In order to stop the war, you need to talk to the Russians.
Kurzes Recap, kurze Zusammenfassung. Also sein Punkt ist, dieser Krieg muss enden. Das ist die einzige Lösung. Und wenn er in die Geschichte schaut, dann gibt es eigentlich nur eine Lösung, wie Kriege enden, und das ist der Verhandlungstisch. Und er will, dass die Zerstörung aufhört, er will, dass es weniger Tote gibt, und Ungarn ist ja auch direkt betroffen. Es leben unglaublich viele Leute, Ungarn in der Ukraine. So, also was er will schnellstmöglich eine Verhandlungsphase einläuten, dass Leute mit den beteiligten Betroffenen da reden, den Verantwortlichen reden. Das sei seine Hoffnung für den Frieden. So, my last question to you is, meine letzte Frage ist, was ist denn diese Hoffnung? Wer ist der Hoffnungsträger? Warum ist er optimistisch, dass dieser Krieg in der Ukraine bald enden wird? What is your glimpse of hope? Who is your glimpse of hope? Why is the world not coming to an end? Who is your hope?
Well, if we are able to understand that the world is bigger than Europe, and if we are able to understand that the world is bigger than the transatlantic area, and if we are able to look beyond this dimension, then it's really easy to see that the global majority wants this war to come to an end, because the whole global community is suffering from the impacts of the war. What are the impacts? The dead people on the battlefield, the millions of refugees, the skyrocketing inflation globally, the skyrocketing energy prices globally, and the challenges regarding the safe food supply. So the whole world is expecting this war to come to an end. So therefore our hope is that this global majority is going to be louder and louder, and will make it clear to the transatlantic community that the majority wants the end of the war. And you know what we see as another chance for change in this regard is the next presidential election in the United States. You know that under the term of President Trump, there was no war on the world like these which have been going on now. So if we agree that politics is a job based on experience, then we can say that under the term of President Trump, the world was a safer and cooler place. So what we can expect that in case President Trump comes back, there will be a bigger chance for more peaceful circumstances worldwide. That's what we can forecast from our experience, let's put it this way. But since we are not Americans, it doesn't matter what we think about that. We can, the most we can do is crossing fingers, right?
Thank you, Mr. Szijjártó. I'll let you go to your place, to find your place. The speak is...
Ja, vielen Dank für die Möglichkeit.
Vielen Dank. Dankeschön. Okay, vielen Dank. Und zwar, der Außenminister sagt eigentlich, er betont, dass es da eine überwiegende Mehrheit gibt, die diesen Krieg nicht will, die auch die negativen Aspekte sehen und dass er hofft, dass diese überwiegende Mehrheit auf der Welt lauter wird und da die sture Minderheit quasi überstimmen wird. Er sagt auch, dass Präsident Trump möglicherweise auch ein Hoffnungsschimmer sein könnte, wenn er die Wahlen gelingt. Das ist seine Perspektive. Wir werden sehen.